much too soon. Our memories will never die.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Duncan Showroom. And I know we have some new customers, so they have to be told about the idea that we always start at the far side of 8 p.m. sharp, right? And tonight, you guys are fortunate that our sharp is sharper than most people have to wait till 20 after. So consider yourselves very lucky being a new customer. And tonight, we would be normally, for those that are in the room, we're thinking, hey, we're broadcasting live. Well, we are broadcasting live tonight, but through no fault of our own, our live version will be only uploaded at a later date. So those people who are watching now didn't get a chance to watch this earlier because it wasn't on the air. But you will be watching it as if it's brand new, because you should. Because the Douglas brothers have very much impressed me today, just only through sound check. Now, one of the things I do appreciate with audiences is that they do the investigation and find out who it is that they might want to come and listen and take that chance, see whether or not it's something they're willing to give it a try. Then there's those other people who have no idea what they're coming to, but why not come? Because it's going to be, take that chance, right? Because we've got our finger snap and toe tap and money back guarantee. You know about that? If you don't like the music in the first half hour, we'll gladly refund you your money. But should I or my spotters take note that you were seen snapping your fingers, tapping your toes, or making any of those absurd airband facial contortions, the guarantee is null and void. Simple as that. But we never seem to have ever had to do that or ever refund any money. Oh, there was one time, but that's okay. That's okay. I know why that happened. And I won't even go into that, but it was a funny one. It's an old little story. But anyway, so tonight we have a band. It's a band. We have a group. We have two guys called the Douglas brothers, who, although originally from Winnipeg, which, by the way, is a hotbed of music, unbelievable. If I could live in Winnipeg with the black flies and those giant horse flies and the fact that everybody there smokes cigarettes because there's nothing else to do on a winter night, but they don't always go outside. I don't know how they get along. But anyway, it's a wonderful community because I said the music that comes out of there is fine. But every so often, you have to leave town. Now, I had this great story put out that the boys were doing some great music, and they decided they head off out to the oil fields where the cash was, right? They could play in those places, but it had nothing to do with that. One went out to get a job in the art field, another one went out to do a job in agriculture. So, but nonetheless, that's their human side. But the reality of it is, tonight is a step, for me, what I saw is a step kind of back into a vaudevillian style of who are the Douglas brothers? Well, you're going to find out at the end. But they're going to come out. It's two guys that could very well have been out there. I assimilated them to Dan Hicks, early Dan Hicks. Or if Dan Hicks had seen the same users they saw, they both were doing what they were doing. Very cool, sort of a swing feel to it, kind of that rhythm's always there. It's two guys, but somehow or other they seem to have a fullness about them that's really cool. We're going to find out about that. They're going to give us two sets tonight. Their name are the Douglas Brothers. Please give them a warm welcome to the Cowichan Valley and the Duncan Showroom stage.
Well, here we are, Duncan.
That was a vaudevillian kind of thing.
That was a vaudevillian sort of introduction.
And the whole thing about Winnipeg, I mean, black flies in Winnipeg, I don't know, black flies. I mean, mosquitoes will carry you off, but black flies. I don't know, John, you're going to have to come out there and we'll give you a tour. Well, we can't see you, but it's nice to sort of sense you. Started slow here.
You know, Larry, just as we're kind of getting ready and tuning up here, I had a question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
You see those blue lights back there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Is that indigo?
Nope. No, that's not indigo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I guess we should just also, as we get going here, Larry, we should just review the contract that that the Duncan Showroom asked us to sign just backstage.
That's the contract.
That's the contract.
That's a pretty thick contract.
Yep. It's a total of 51 articles in this contract, and
I've seen a contract.
most of them, pretty normal stuff for folk music, I would say, but a few special things that I thought we should just discuss at the start here. The house really wanted a few specific things included in the songs. It seems like it's a bit of a tradition here at the Duncan Showroom. In the songs themselves. So they wanted some mention of cucumbers in a song. Yeah. See?
So this is a normal thing here.
Yeah.
People do that. They ask for cucumbers in songs.
Not just cucumbers, though. They also wanted at least one mention of an aquatic mammal.
Yes, sure.
Also a torpid mammal. 3 genres of dance. And something about public transportation.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any mention of money in there at all?
There is money in here, but I stroked all that part out. I thought I'm not getting us into any kind of trouble with money here. Yeah. So I took out all the stuff about money.
You haven't signed that or anything?
I signed for both of us.
For both, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. And cucumbers, it's a thing they do here.
I think we're ready to go then.
Really?
Yeah.
Birds came in the spring and they left in the fall. Nothing I said could convince them to stay. They left and that was all. Sometimes I wish that things were mine to change, but the birds know better. They go back from where they came. In the winter it's freezing, in the summer it's hot. It's just about unbearable, but it's never enough. We get stuck in traffic jams, we get stuck in lines, we get stuck with laugh tracks and glitz and neon signs. And in the city it's crowded, and so we lock up all our stuff. It's just about unbearable, but it's never enough. I saw all the fancy cars pull up at the New Age shop and go, scrambling to be the first in line to learn how to let go. Nothing can be simple when there's nothing you'll give up. It's just about unbearable, but it's never enough. And then I heard a robin singing somewhere up the street. I might have been a cell phone ringing, calling about the heat. All the forests are burning and the weather's all messed up. It's just about unbearable, but it's never enough. Right now big men with guns are breathing very hard, and they're shooting off their mouths, and they're scaring the crowds. And old men with telephones are telling them what to do. They're telling them all about right and wrong, as if they really knew. They say we need to win, and we need to play rough. It's just about unbearable, but it's never enough. Those little birds, they came in the spring and they left in the fall. Nothing I said could convince them to stay. They know, that's all. There we go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's always nice. It's such a nice carpet. I don't know if you noticed. It's very nice to walk on this.
This is the nicest stage we've been on in ages.
I like, yeah, it's just beautiful. Yeah. I feel like I should have my shoes off or something. It's nice. Yeah, so we're gonna do a song here. It's called "Return to Start," and we're just at the beginning, and so it can be confusing because it's "Return to Start" and we just started. So it's just the name of the song. Don't be confused by that. 1, 2, 3. I dreamed I was on an island covered with snakes, poisonous and venomous that represented my mistakes. Oh, sometimes there are dreams you just don't want to end. And then there are those with reptiles and yeah, the clouds are forming happy scenes just yesterday. But that's before you went and left and got away. Now I'm messing with my memories so they all make sense. And I didn't use up my second chance. I always thought you were something. I always thought too much. Guess I got tired of waiting, ran off with such and such. But I still hear your voice. It echoes in my broken heart. I hope to see you later at the return to start. I was wondering about magic, wishing it was true, and I could see all my mistakes like I really ought to, and then I could wind it all back and start again, head over heels in a silly grin. Yeah, we laugh about fast food and other crazy ideas, be surprised about crooks and full-length mirrors, sleep like old dogs, swim in the creek. Those snakes and dreams would somehow never meet. I always thought you were something. I always thought too much. I guess I got tired of waiting, ran off with such and such. But I still hear your voice. It echoes in my broken heart. I hope to see you later at the return to start. Oh, the sky is falling, someone's calling, looking for a helping hand. My heart is sinking while everybody's drinking and listening to the band. I see now like a bow shot in a darkening sky, how howls and how cries get drowned out by sighs. I always thought you were something. I always thought too much. I guess you got tired of waiting, ran off with such and such. But I still hear your voice. It echoes in my broken heart. I hope to see you later at the return to start. Oh, well, the days and the weeks and the months go by and then come back again. We're living on a spinning top, forever going round the bend. It's a new day, it's a new year, it's a brand new moon. Oh, I still wanna play that game called Be Back Soon. Always thought you were something. I always thought too much. I guess you got tired of waiting, ran off with such and such. But I still hear your voice. It echoes in my broken heart. I hope to see you later at the return to start. Yeah, I hope to see you later at the return to start. I hope I see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, we for this next song, we feel like we ought to warn people about it. We it's kind of the romantic part of the evening here for us. Or not for us really, but kind of
Possibly for all of you.
Oh yeah, I guess it's because what we've noticed with kind of the test audiences and other audiences that we've tried this next song on is it engenders intense romantic feelings in people, and so and you won't be able to help it. Sorry, it's just it'll happen. It's that kind of song. I'm sure you can imagine it, and we notice this with other audiences, and so we like to warn people about that. On the good side, there is a distance decay kind of effect here. So that means that. So what's going to happen is during the song, whoever's closest to you, you're going to kind of feel kind of romantically inclined towards. It's going to be inescapable. Just accept that, and so it's actually easier if you do accept that. But with distance, it kind of ebbs, So the further you're away, there's like so what would I say? So if you're sitting beside somebody you like, or wouldn't mind having those feelings towards, then that's okay. It's just perfectly fine. In fact, you can maybe inch closer. But if, on the other hand, you're sitting beside somebody you don't really like, or somebody who you'd rather not, well, to me, just take this opportunity just to create a little bit of space, just nudge away, so that it kind of mitigates the. Like I said, it's impossible to resist. It mitigates the effect. So, just thought we'd a little public service announcement there. The cafe was bright and sunny. Still, she added light. When I saw her, my heart fluttered. She was just that kind of right. When she ordered some water with lemon, I felt us connect in some way. But when she ordered a cucumber sandwich, my heart just sailed away. The way she held her breadstick, it's just the way I would have to. I fell in love with the girl in the cafe like there was nothing else that I could do. I am a shy sort, but I almost overcame it there. The way the sunlight laughed and danced about her hair. I was sitting 2 tables over. My view was from the side. I glanced up once and I thought I caught her eye. I thought about walking over, but my nerves wouldn't let me go. And then I thought it would be way too pushy, so instead I started to write a poem. I got as far as violets are blue when I was distracted by a sound. She pulled out a revolver and started yelling for everyone to get down. And then she released the pit bull terrier that she'd brought in on a leash. His attention was on others, but she was looking at me. The look in her eye, it pierced me. It was both beautiful and deep. Her gaze penetrated my soul. I dare say I began to weep. And then she motioned to the floor, and as I slid off of my chair, I thought I caught her perfume. It reminded me of apples and pears. She got the money from the till. She ordered tea. The waiter was too frightened, and so it was left to me. But I didn't have to ask her what kind. No, by now she and I were almost like one. Still, I had to look down when I handed her the money. Think about her on winter nights. trapped in my lonely memories. How she ordered cucumber sandwiches and sipped gunpowder tea. I wonder about what might have been the how and the why. If I wasn't so afraid of pit bull terriers, if I wasn't so shy. Y'all feeling it there now?
Thank you.
Oh, we'll try to kind of ease that tension I guess, with this next one. Yeah, well, this next one requires a little bit of, well, what it is that, you know, we've been around quite a while. It's the truth of the matter, like a long time. And so, but as kind of senior folk musicians floating around out there, we figured it was our duty and obligation to pass on, you know, the little things that we learned along the way of folk.
Through life experience,
yeah, okay.
touring, things of that nature.
Yeah. And so we decided to create a whole new genre of music, a whole new genre. It's a marketing idea, but you know, still, we call it cautionary tales. Cautionary tales in the
Cautionary tales in the folk idiom.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we call it cautionary tales in the folk idiom, and anyways, and so what we'd like to do. So we just started this a little while ago, and we'd like to do our very first cautionary tale for you, and it's particularly apropos here on the island because there is.
There's a lot of island culture out here. All the things that go with being on an island,
like the ocean,
in the middle of the ocean.
In the middle of well, yeah. I mean, it's sort of, but and so this one, we call this one cautionary tale. Well, CT. We actually call number 1, opus 1, and subtitled "Surfing." A lot of people, I'm sure. So. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We get up, it's early in the morning, the grass in the flat, it was really, really boring, driving through the day and the night, about 1,000,000 miles, not a beach in sight. How did I know that surfing was for me? You know, when you know, I knew it had to be. Well, I was sitting in the backseat dreaming along, Annette Funicello, Frankie Avalon, running the water, jumping the waves. How does Annette get her hair to stay that way? Surfing all day until her legs get tired, and singing all night by the beach bonfire. Hey, Annette, pass me that pina colada there. That one. Well, I was finally at the beach with the smell of the sea and all the skimpy little fashions saying, look at me how the waves were high. The ocean was there. I thought I heard surfing safari floating in the air. The woman at the shack, she said, what'll it be? I said, hot dogs and fries and surfing lessons, please. Well, it was riptide, skin fried, shark's mouth open wide, tongue tied, she sighed, nick my heart and skin my pride, tough ride, no glide, always on the water side. Could I cried, would I died, lost my nerve, goodbye. Well, I tried and I very nearly died in the Pope's living room. There's just nowhere to hide. Went from wood if I could to wonder if I shouldn't. What I thought was so bad might not be very good. I got stuff to do, I remember it now. Man overboard up the starboard bow. Riptide, skin fried, shark's mouth open wide, tongue tied, she sighed. Nick my heart and skin my pride, tough ride, no glide, always on the water side. Could I cried, would I died, lost my nerve, goodbye. Well, I tried and I tried and I very nearly died. In the tubular world, there's just nowhere to hide. Went from what if I could to wonder if I shouldn't. What I thought was so bad might not be very good. I got stuff to do, I remember it now. Laying overboard up the starboard bow. Riptide, skin fried, shark's mouth, open wide, tongue tied, she side. Make my heart skin, my pride, tough rat, no light, always on the water side. Could I cried, would I died, lost my nerve, goodbye. Could have cried, would have died, lost my nerve, goodbye. Could have cried, would have died, lost my nerve, goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, you've been warned there.
The night is so big, I am so small. The night is so big, and I am so small. I'm like a teeny tiny little fish, and the night is like a big round pond. Yeah, the night is like a big black lake. It's like the giant dark ocean. And me, you'll recall, I'm just this teeny tiny fish, yeah. When I was a kid, I had a lot of dreams, yeah, they were foolish dreams. They were way too big. I would dream them at night. But now that I'm older, yeah, I'm wiser. My dreams are a lot more scaled down. They're more the size of the day. They're more like daydreams now. The night is so big that on one side of it you could be alphabetizing all your old 45s, and on the other side of it, you could be asking yourself, what was that first bird that started to sing just before the dawn? Was that a robin? Was that a house finch? Is so big, I am so small. The night is so big, and I am so small. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming out. It's really lovely. We've never played here before, and it's actually really wonderful. They treat you so well, so except for the contract obligations, I guess. But except for that, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Just a second. There we go. Stars get brighter the darker it gets. Trail of sparkling worlds when the sun sets. Maybe they're waiting with their lamps lit, but I can't get there, so here I sit with monkey eyes all shiny blue on the wetted streets with an oily hue. Bears in the bars broke out of the zoo. Jungle closing in till I looked at you. Your laughter makes sunshine even in this city rain. I've been gone such a long time, but you brought me home again. Age like love cannot be hid. The river's gotta flow around the bend. Every day's goodbye to a longtime friend. It's a patchwork quilt from beginning to end. Hold me close for we're out of time. I don't have much, but you can have what's mine. You ready? Have my heart and my soul. If you can think of anything else, let me know. Your laughter makes sunshine even in this city rain. I've been gone such a long time, but you brought me home again. So out on the streets where the shadows are long, just out of the light, I found this song waiting like a wish and the promise of dawn. They're not keeping score of right and wrong. If you would too, I want to spend my days loving you. Let me count the ways. Could I hold your hand? Could you understand? Your laughter makes sunshine even in this city rain. I've been gone such a long time, but you brought me home again. Your laughter makes sunshine even in this city rain. I've been gone such a long time, but you brought me home again. Brought me home again. Brought me home again.
Thank you. Well, here we are at the end of the first set already.
Pretty darn close, anyway.
One more song, take a little break, and then we'll come back.
I think the second set is a shade longer. Just in
Even
case.
sings out, yeah.
Kind of, yeah, it even sings out, which is nice to balance it. Oh yeah, right. We of course do a lot of intense data analysis of our audiences and hire statisticians and that kind of thing. You can imagine being folk musicians, that's what we do. And because it's a hyper marketing age, and we like to do that kind of thing. And so what we found, though, I think you'll be pleased to know this, is that it turns out Douglas Brother audiences are extremely intelligent. They rate incredibly high on the scale of intelligence. It's a wonderful thing. because well, no, I should say about that, it's like a normal curve, eh? So like for example, in this audience here, chances are that most people in this audience, it's a bell curve, and most people are going to be extremely intelligent, and then there's going to be some people who are like super duper way off the scale kind of intelligent, and of course then there's the other end of the tail there. There's always a few who are well, anyways, it's an average, but on average, most people are going to be super intelligent, and the great thing about that. Is that we can write the most obscure songs, complex, and really we don't even understand them, but folks kind of get them, and it's really great. We just really have to worry about the rhyming, and it's terrific. That's one of the. But the thing is, we got this one song, which we'd like to do for you here tonight, and although we know, just flag it for you, because the truth is that it was written as complicated. It's a whodunit. It's like a whodunit kind of. Those novels where you turn the page and you kind of go like, well, it's like a mystery. It's like a mystery, and you don't know what's going to happen next. And the fun of it is trying to figure it out along the way. But in these situations, and you got to keep track of all the characters, and all the situations, and all the details, because that helps you solve the mystery. And this is that kind of song. So we just want to flag it for you, so that pay particular attention, so that you can enjoy the ride, and just before we get to the exciting conclusion, there you can go, oh yeah, I got it, sort of thing. So just that's what all this was. Of course, we don't have to explain this, to on average most of you, but just wanted to make sure we flagged it. Anything else I need to cover with that?
No, I think you got it all.
All right. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a dark and a beautiful night. The moon and the stars were in the sky, shining so bright, but there was danger in the air. And anybody outside better just beware. Yeah, it was in a night like this, there was a robbery at Mr. Penton's car wash and chicken hatchery, and holy jeez, there wasn't a clue. And who could have done it? Nobody knew.
Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones.
Now, Detective Raymond Sloan of the PPD, he was dining with his wife at Sally's Salad Factory when he got a call. Could have changed his life, or at least got him out of dinner with his wife. He went slooping, scooping down to the scene of the crime, and by the time he got there, he had all his suspects in mind, and he gathered them all together in his office downtown, said, in this room, a thief will be found.
Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones.
Now, Freddie, he was ready. He was born that way, and tonight could have been his night. He'd asked out Lisa, and to his surprise and delight, she said yes to a movie, though no till later on. But that was all right with Freddie, who had already waited so long. And there was Lisa, who was ready as Freddie, and she was good with a knife. She'd been married twice, but now she was nobody's wife. She'd been to India, she'd been to Spain. She'd been around quite a bit, she had quite a name. Hey,
Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones.
Well, Freddie might have done it to impress the love of his life. You see, Lisa had been a vegetarian now for the past 2 weeks of her life. But Lisa could have done it too to set those chickens free from the corporate carnivore she called Mr. Penton's hatchery. He's giving him an
M-R-S-J-O-N-E-S. Yeah, M-R-S-J-O-N-E-S. Oh, M-R-S-J-O-N-E-S. M-R-S-J-O-N-E-S.
Now there was Mr. Edgar Jones. He worked at the hatchery. He's about to be laid off because of poor productivity. He might have been angry, might have been bitter. He could have been upset enough to do something he might later regret. And Roger Quinn, a neighbor to Mr. Jones, he is the last of the 4 suspects brought together by Detective Sloan. He was a troublemaker that everybody knew, and there was a smell of poultry on him which steadily grew. I had chicken for dinner. What can I say? I didn't do anything wrong. The detective might have argued with him, but he couldn't wait that long. No, he knew all his suspects had alibis. So he slooped on back to the scene of the crime. Here he goes. He's slooping. He's
Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones.
And there he found Mrs. Jones, dressed all in black and crying by the telephone. She said she cried for the days gone by when Edgar and her worked together on the egg-turning line. Now she comes to the hatchery to remember the good old days when things were simpler and she was younger in so many ways. She said she was sorry about the chickens, but they just got away. Sometimes when you live in the past, the present gets in the way. Hey, yes, it was Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones. It was Mrs. Jones all alone. Yes, it was Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones.
Thank you. We'll be back. We'll be back in a few minutes. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that.
I don't know. It's up to John here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. There we go. I like indigo, kind of blue and purple that you see at the end of the day, just before the stars. When this part of the world is settling down, I feel better about black holes if they called them indigo. And like the moon, it's beautiful if you don't think about how cold and lifeless it really is. Oh, I suppose sometimes it is a bit bright, but still it's quite something hanging there in the sky, like a movie set. Except, well, it's real. like the neighbor's dog most of the time. Except at night when he barks. He doesn't bark much, but just a little. And the night is still too much. And I don't even mind traffic sounds. Okay, I'm not super fond of them. But during the day, I guess they're okay. At night, it's another story, though. And slamming car doors, I suppose they are necessary. They are just not my favorite at night. When I'm laying my head on my pillow and I'm tired from all the busyness, and I'm looking forward to a nice sleep, but then I can't sleep. Something about ruffled feathers and restlessness. And then there's that ticking clock and the refrigerator. The refrigerator is worse because it's just a random thing. It starts up and you never know when. I guess it's doing something important, but it's doing it at night in an otherwise quiet house. And it's doing it loudly. And then there are the other sounds. Who knows what they are? They are creepy, crawly little sounds. I heard the Death Watch Beatles beat their heads at night to find mates. How unfortunate all around. And scratchy sounds. Or maybe it's the heating ducts contracting. Or maybe it's some creature chewing through the telephone cable. I wonder who I phone about that. Whatever it is, I find it distracting when I'm trying to sleep. My feathers are all ruffled. It's quiet, except for the dog, the traffic sounds, the car doors. And the moon is a bit bright tonight. I swear I just heard a horse. Did you hear that? It sounds just like a horse to me. Or maybe a beaver. Beavers are very active at night. Although I've never seen one around here. I suppose it could be a raccoon. It wouldn't be an owl. Owls don't make any sound when they fly. That's how they sneak up on mice and voles and other things that they like to eat. Did I leave the car door unlocked? There's nothing in there. And still, I hope I locked it. Did I use the stove tonight? I would have shut off the stove. I usually do. I really should have got those thicker blinds. Maybe tomorrow I'll hang a couple of sheets up there to block out the moon. It must be near full. Gravity sure is weird. It keeps the moon circling around. I read that the Earth's spin is slowing down because of the moon. I guess that's good. Because I'm gonna need some extra time to catch up on my sleep. I wonder why I have so much trouble sleeping. I wonder why I have so much trouble sleeping. I wonder why I have so much trouble sleeping. I wonder when the dog will stop barking. There goes the refrigerator again.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. There's fellow insomniacs out there. Oh, it's going to be nice now to do a song that rhymes. A lot easier to remember, I find. I got caught up at the watering hole. I was thirsty for answers, dark and old. Talk is cheap down there. Oh, it flows as true as the whiskey can make it so. Down here there are the preachers and the beautiful hearts, the weary ones, the would-be kings, and some just broke apart. The cynics, they are many, and they all get their say, for better or worse. It's new every day. Some folks paper anger over walls of fear, shake fists full of memories drained of tears, call for retribution as if harm and more could undo anything that's happened before. Others goad them on, playing darker games, claiming hatred is just for their own gain. They're walking backwards, tripping through the doorway, for better or worse. It's new every day. It's new every day. Like any good accident, seems time slowing down. I can see all the wrinkles and all the faces of all the clowns. Something might be interesting and not matter at all. Progress is measured in centuries, if at all. All the things I said I'd do, but didn't in the end. All the things I said I wouldn't have come to call again. It's a world of remnant wonders because we get our way, for better or worse. It's new every day. It's new every day. It's new every day. My friend Angel's always saying, be kinder than you need to be. She read it on the Berlin Wall back in 1983. She got herself some platform shoes, she's jumping right in. How she keeps her balance is hard to comprehend. Your next step matters when you forgot where you're going. A good ancestor knows this without being shown. It can't be like the first time, life's simply not that way. For better or worse, it's new every day. It's new every day. It's new every day. It's new every day.
Thank you.
I thought out here would be so humid, and I'm so thirsty. Or maybe this is good. The Rambler died out on Highway 1. Felt like it gave out too soon. I took my stuff and just left her there and hitched a ride underneath a gigantic moon. The lights of the city must have looked like the dawn, but I didn't think about that then. I was tired of all my traveling and waiting for what might be around the bend. Got a room off North Main, a loud and kind of lonely place. I took a job in loading trucks by the airport. Hard work has its own kind of grace. The sundog days are still and frozen. I don't even know why I stayed, but I was sandbagging along the flooding red when, like the spring, something gave. This big old sky is an open door. So much I've never dreamed before. Who knew flowers grew so wild? There's a lazy hawk on swirling mist, the temptress, the hypnotist. It all sings to me like a child. Never forget where we first met at a dance with piped-in tunes. I saw you in the circle of folks that formed around the bride and the groom. And how I ever got up the nerve to ask if you might like to dance. Swear I'll never know, but I'm so glad I took the chance. This big old sky is an open door. So much I never knew before, and the wind whispers in the grass. And there's an old fence leaning down, back to earth to settle down. Love born here lasts and lasts. Then the time began to sing a song. The years became like days, and I started to understand the rooted elm, the deepness of its ways. It's not the life of the wandering birds that tug at my soul, but the twinkle of your smiling eyes in this place I've come to know. This big old sky is an open door. So much I've never seen before. Ah, the sun sets on fire tonight. The rivers join and still flow north, lightly chuckle about what they've brought forth. The stars are taking flight. This big old sky is an open door. So much I never felt before. The wind whispers in the grass. And there's an old fence leaning down, back to earth to settle down. Love born here lasts and lasts. All right, well, now I notice there's younger folks around here, and that would be anybody kind of under 55 would be younger. There we go. And this young fellow here, I think his name is Malachi, right? Yeah, there we go. So, and there's probably others. So anyways, for this next song, we always like to, because we like to explain a little bit about just what it is well, they don't have department stores anymore. That's the problem. They're doing away with department stores, and Wayne and I, we worked back in Winnipeg a long time ago. We worked in the Eaton's department store.
That's right.
Yeah.
Draperies department.
You're the draperies?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Yeah.
That really was a good experience, I bet, eh?
It was.
Learned a lot?
And in Winnipeg, I was on the 6th floor. That put me right behind the letter E on the Eaton sign.
Wow.
I was very proud of that. I thought it would really impress people, but it never did.
Nothing
No.
happened with that? You got a little bit of drapery there on your strap
there's
there?
a little bit of homage to the drapery department right there.
Well, the thing about the department stores is, I remember, if you don't know, they used to have the departments, like they used to be tall buildings. I forget how many stories was it? 8 stories the Eaton's was?
8.
A lot of them, they had lots of stories, and each story would have, of the building would have a different department on it, They often had women's fashions, it seemed to me, and jewelry and stuff like that on the main floor. And then, sometimes it would be like, housewares or men's department.
Sporting goods.
Sporting goods, toys, there'd be toys. Anyways, I always thought that the coolest department was, there was a department called the Department of Notions, and maybe, if you're younger, you may have never heard of this. That's what we run into, is younger folks don't seem to know about the Department of Notions. I always thought that was the best department, even when I didn't even know what it was about. I would like to say that I worked in the department. I never did. Worked in the Department of Notions, and it turns out that the Department of Notions, what they have there is kind of like all the in-between stuff. They have like needles and buttons and fasteners and
zippers.
Zippers, yeah, they have that kind of thing. Just the stuff that's not on its own. It's nothing really. It's not. It's just the stuff that kind of brings things together. And they always thought they had the coolest people that worked in the. Of course they would. They had the coolest people that worked in the Department of Notions and. Anyway, so because this song is kind of deals with that, so I better explain that. Otherwise, it would make it difficult to make any sense out of that. So there you go. Randy worked in Notions. Down on the 4th floor, I'd see him straightening the little buttons, the possibilities and the not quite sures. He had a knack for knickknacks and tying on ribbons and bows, the little bits and pieces that hold together the highs and lows. Me, I worked all over, moving boxes as need be, saying I liked it when I was left alone, but really wishing I wouldn't be. And more often than not, I'd end up down on 4 to listen to Randy talk of iron-on patches and all we're looking for. The notions he had were a marvel, it's true. He'd say things like, money is a curtain that hides an empty room. And when asked where one could find the sequins and glue, he'd say, you gotta tear your eyes from paradise if you wanna do all you can do. And I remember when he talked to Roland in electronics, who wore a white shirt, as antiseptic as his dreams to get everything to work. Roland carried a little black box in his pocket and a lot of different keys. Worried about the pace of change and what it was he might really need. But he was smiling when he left him, a true smile it was too. Not the kind filled with smugness or from getting more than you're due. What Randy said to him, Roland never did say. But he started writing poetry in black and white and gray. And he talked to Marcy down in receiving, who always fretted for her back, 'cause there was no telling what might come in on that old railroad track. Marcy thought she'd like to travel on a cargo ship someday, but worried she'd end up like the gulls who never fly away. But after Randy showed her some thimbles and buttons shaped like drops of rain, I never saw Marcy at the store again. So people would come to see him, pretending they needed thread. Eventually, though, they'd always get what they really wanted instead. How he got so wise, no one was really sure. Probably just by listening and believing something crazy like love's the cure. But the notions he had were a marvel, it's true. He'd say things like, it's a mistake to walk in shoes that aren't for you. And when asked where one could find the sequins and glue, he'd say, you stop listening to your heart, it'll stop talking to you. Well, I left that store many years ago and began wandering here and there, collecting bits and pieces of little beginnings and almost theirs. But thinking back the other day, I remembered Randy's kind face and how he'd say notions are just notions unless you take them someplace. I guess everyone has notions, tucked in boxes and drawers. And I guess they're a lot like old memories picked up in department stores.
Thank you.
I wrote a poem about a brand new dawn. I thought it'd make you smile. It made you yawn. Guess should have written about some famous dancer, 'cause that's the only kind of fella I can see that you are after. There's something too big about my feet, and I jump and wiggle, but got no beat. Do I dance? There might be some doubt. And you say you won't stay when my feet are like clay, though in my mind I can see it spin and sway. But I guess imagining doesn't count. Why does this happen to me? If you have a heart, it's gotta be in your little feet. I got no hope with your romance, no good to using my sideways glance. I try to break through being nice, but I just can't. My poems and flowers have no chance. I'm about as welcome as a bunch of ants. Oh, if only I could dance. Yeah, if only I could dance. I tried wearing fancy clothes. They cost a lot, but you'd never know. I tried tried fitting in with your crowd, but I stood out like a laugh too loud. A laugh might be too loud, but a tear is like the sky without a cloud. I tried Zen, the Buddha, the Timbuktu, but for you it's just the old soft shoe that makes your heart skip a beat. I tried diamonds and other stones, oh I still wanna be your own. Just don't look at my feet. Why does this happen to me? Where is your heart? It's gotta be in your feet. I got no hope with the old romance, no good to use my sideways glance. I try to break through being nice, but I just can't. My poems and flowers have no chance. I'm about as welcome as a bunch of ants. Oh, if only I could dance, yeah. I tried hipping and hopping, my heart is stopping, tapping and jazzing, nothing happened. So I hurt myself with house and jive and crumb. Samba, mambo, chicken gumbo, ballet swinging, my legs are stinging. Why can't there be a dance where you just jump? Why does this happen to me? I wish you had a heart, but it's gonna be in your feet. Too loud, but a tear is like the sky without a cloud. I tried hipping and hopping, my heart is stopping, tapping and jazzing, nothing happening. I hurt myself with house and jive and crumb. Samba, mambo, chicken gumbo, ballet swinging, my legs are stinging. Why can't there be a dance where you just jump? Why does this happen to me? If you have a heart, it's in your feet. I got no hope with the old romance, no good to use my sideways glance. I try to break through being nice, but I just can't. My poems and flowers have no chance. I'm about as welcome as a bunch of ants. Oh, if only I could dance. If only I could dance. I've tried.
Well, didn't Mom give you dancing lessons when we were kids?
I didn't get any dancing.
I got dancing lessons.
And you
How
got
come
all
you
the
didn't get any
dancing?
dancing
I
lessons?
got like jam pale curling lessons. I never got any dancing.
Curling. That was your physical coordination course?
What?
Well, we got to do all sorts of courses, and that was what she had you do for your physical coordination.
She got you to do all. I never got any of that.
What did you get to do for your language course?
I got to take out the garbage. I don't know what you're talking about.
I got to go to France. I got to learn French in Paris.
Yeah, you went to Paris. That's right. You went to Paris.
Yeah.
Don't you see that?
Oh, I don't know.
I never learned. I can do other things. I just
what?
gotta find some. I got a driver's license. I just gotta find somebody else who doesn't mind so much about.
You're a good guitar player. I'll give you that.
Nobody likes that. It doesn't work. It used to work. It doesn't work anymore. If I can scat. Nobody likes that. Yeah. I can do. I just gotta find somebody. I can do like Lego. I was pretty good at Lego for a while. I'm better with Duplo. It's bigger. I just gotta find somebody who doesn't mind so much about whether or not I can dance. I can dance. I can dance. No, I can't. I just can't.
Thank you.
There we go. All right then. Well, thank you very. Oh,
Just two songs.
I feel like I don't even need to use a microphone. It's just
Yeah.
thing.
Two songs left now.
Two songs.
I think we should just check in about the contract.
Oh, shoot.
For sure, we just mentioned 3 genres of dance.
Oh, good.
More than 3 there, so I think we got that one covered from the contract. Cucumbers. In the first set, the cucumber sandwich song, the girl in the cafe, she ordered a cucumber sandwich.
Yeah, the romantic one.
Yeah. Let's see. Aquatic mammals. Oh, yeah. In Trouble Sleeping, you mentioned a beaver. Aquatic mammal, we got that one.
We're out here. We should have mentioned a whale or like a
Yeah,
a
well,
seal or-
but we got it with the beaver, and there was another mammal.
Did you like
torpid,
notice beforehand?
torpid mammals? So
What
that
is-
was
what is that?
that was a bear. A bear is a torpid mammal. They don't go into full hibernation. They just go into a state of torpor,
These people in Duncan
sleep-like
are very smart. about it.
state, not full hibernation. So the only one left
What?
is
Not full hibernation. So a bear.
public transportation.
What? That's the one we got left.
That's the one we got left. Public transportation. 2
We
songs.
don't got public transportation.
Yeah.
2 songs.
Yeah.
What are you telling me?
Well, we got to work it into one of those 2 songs.
We're gonna do these 2 songs?
Yep.
There's a flower in the garden. It's climbing to the sun. In a long line of circumstance to do what must be done. Shining for a moment. It's just its way. Then the colors soften and fade away. Life takes hold everywhere in the darkness and light. Among the twists and turns, some go left, some go right. To each its own, I suppose. Whatever grows, grows. And so it goes. She was in the library with a faraway look. A girl and a notepad surrounded by her books. I sat across the table, nothing else to do. In the land of imagination, where everything is new. She said these stories are like butterflies pinned to the page. They live in the possibility of whimsy, set ablaze. Oh, I love it here. See their wings catch the air, and so it goes. I saw him at the laundromat. I was sorting through the past, starting out black and white, blend into gray and overcast. I don't go in there often, who knows why today. Funny thing about habits, when they start, who's to say? He said these machines are like waves pushing at the shore. They seem like just one thing and nothing more. But you can never do just one thing, always, always rippling, and so it goes. Now the sunshine warms my back as I find my way through this overgrown pathway, both familiar and new. Everyone has their own story, I suppose I do too. Maybe someday mine will lead to you. Love takes hold everywhere in the darkness and light. Among the twists and turns, sometimes left, sometimes right. To each its own, I know. Whatever grows, grows. And so it goes. So just before just before we do this last one, I sure want to thank John for longevity. John, for taking a chance on us and letting us come out here and play here. It's very nice, and it's a wonderful venue. And also
and to Tim
and also
doing
to
the
Tim.
sound,
very
completely fantastic.
Yeah.
Can we
and Trevor
for Trevor for the magic that Trevor does?
back there somewhere.
Can we give them all a round of applause? 'Cause it's a great house to play in.
So one more
Yeah.
then. For us, this is an old song. I know at least maybe two people who might know it here. So, well, us, I guess.
Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I like the raspberries growing in my grandma's yard, and the shady plum tree under which I would lie when I was tired. I like the way that the white moths fly up from the cabbage rows, with my grandma working there bending so low. Yeah, I'm going back to yesterday, and when I get there, I believe I'll stay. I'm going back to where my memories are. I'm sure I can find them. They can't be too far. Well, it's a dry land, it's a flat land, it's a very hot summer day. So hot that only me and the bugs and the birds like it that way. I'm gonna get me a stick, I'm gonna cross this desert, me and all my men, and we're gonna save the world from peril till Grandma calls us in. Yeah, I'm going back to yesterday, and when I get there, I believe I'll stay. I'm going back to where my memories are. I'm sure I can find them. Can't be too far, they can't be too far, they can't be. Well, I wonder if Margaret Langer ever got married. I liked that girl so much in grade 2, it was scary. I wonder if Susan, what's her name, ever lost all that weight. How much teasing could that poor girl take? Yeah, I'm going back to yesterday, and when I get there, I believe I'll stay. I'm going back to where my memories are. I'm sure I can find them. They can't be too far, they can't be too far. So maybe you're wondering how this all got started. Well, I was thinking about my grandma on one of those melancholy days. You know, as time goes by, it seems more and more these melancholy days get in my way. So I've decided I'm going back to yesterday. And when I get there, I believe I'll stay. I'm going back to where my memories are. I'm sure I can find them. They can't be too far. They can't be too far. They got to be around here somewhere, Wayne. They got to be somewhere.
We got to have some memories out on Vancouver Island someplace.
Oh yeah, man.
From when we were kids. Sure. I remember.
You remember?
Yeah, remember Grandma rented a cottage out here one summer, and we came out.
Oh, we came out to do all that surfing, right?
Yeah, that's right. And you know, Grandma even had this special deal worked out with the local public transportation to take her surfboard on the bus.
On the public transportation?
Out to the beach. Yeah, that's right.
I still remember that.
She would get out onto the waves, and she would start doing tricks, you know, on her surfboard.
Oh, I mean, she could do so many tricks.
Yeah, she would hang 5, she would
10, 14 inch stuff like that.
She could do a handstand on her surfboard.
And all while she was doing it, remember?
Yeah, while she was doing it, she would scat.
Always.
All the time on the surfboard, and we could hear it for miles.
As she got closer, it got louder. Oh, look, she did a flip. She's getting closer. Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, and good night.
Thanks for putting in the public transportation.
Yeah.
One more. One more. You want to stay for one more?
In fact, we have one more. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have like 87 more. It's just
yeah.
Well, with the time change here, we could.
No.
Wang away on the guitar, and then it gets all pulled out of tune all the time. What we're gonna do? Oh yeah, okay. Well, I feel like so this is an odd place to do such a song. Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit because it's a funny one because so we've been doing it in this kind of spot right at the end. Send everybody kind of home sad, I think, a little bit. So forgive us for that. But what happened is about it was last spring or it's before.
A few springs ago.
Oh yeah. Anyways, a friend of mine, his daughter was she got cancer and breast cancer, and she lived with that for I think 3 or so years. But it was the trajectory was not good, you know, as that often happens, and so it kind of knew towards the end that it was not it was going to end with her passing, and so when my friend called me, he called me and told me the news. She was 39, and so and then he said they're going to have. We're down in Calgary, and so they're going to have a celebration of her life up in Edmonton. And could you come up there, and could you make up a song? Could you write a song and do that there? And so it was a week. We had so this is the song, and so we'll give it just so you know. When I was small, I would run through tall grass. I loved the feeling as it gave way. Eventually, though, I'd fall and I'd laugh and struggle would feel like play. I used to love to walk among trees, dappled light in my eyes, a carpet of flowers dancing with bees, all magic and surprise. From the joy we felt along the way, from the tears that we cried, from each memory you hold of me, is how I'm now alive. And as I grew, I realized that life is in my hands. I'm a part of everything, and what I feel is who I am. A lot of it is bewildering, I will admit that's true. But there's only so much wondering a person can do. From the joy we felt along the way, from the tears that we cried, from each memory you hold of me, is how I'm now alive. I guess traveling we all must do, leaving what we've always known for some place strange and new. I'm so sorry to have to go, but look for me beyond the lamplight, where it's darkest. I'll be there. You'll know me in the cool of night, true as stone, light as air. From the joy we felt along the way, from the tears that we cried, from each memory you hold of me, I'm now alive. From the joy we felt along the way, from the tears that we cried, from each memory you hold of me, is how I'm now alive. Anyways, thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Douglas Brothers do have CDs for sale.
I done had my fun. If I don't get well no more, I done had my fun. If I don't get well no more, my health is failing me. Ooh, I'm going down slow. Would you ride my mother